Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Pinball FX2. So today we're doing the final core pinball game. And then, after some thought, we're gonna just, had to decide how we were gonna cover these other ones. And I could go in chronological order and we could look at it from that perspective, but in reality, if you're buying the game today, you're probably gonna buy a bunch of these, hopefully on sale, and just have them. This Marvel group here may be through 3 different DLCs, packs. So I kind of don't want to end up having like Marvel episode, Marvel episode, Marvel episode. So we'll just start after this recording with a Marvel, and then we'll do a Star Wars, and then we'll do like Portal, and then we'll do another Marvel, and then another Star Wars, and then we'll do The Walking Dead, and then we'll do another Marvel and another Star Wars, and we'll look in to see what this football is. Actually, this football may be several tables. It might only be one, I'm not sure. Football as in European football, soccer. And then we'll just keep on cycling like that, and we'll start going through some of these other ones like Wild West Rampage here is a non-licensed product, but it's not the core thing. And we'll just keep working until we've done them all. And at a certain point, I think we'll hit the Alien vs. Predators and the Family Guys too. Well, yeah, I guess we should go ahead and do that. So, like, starting, we'll do a Marvel, Star Wars, we'll do Family Guy, and then we'll do Portal. And then we'll leave the Alien vs. Predators after Family Guy. It's a big mess. A lot of licenses here, a lot of unique tables coming out of here, and I'm not playing the game. Really not a great way to go through this, because each pinball table is effectively its own separate video game. I'm going to change the camera to view 4, even though that seems like it's not working the best. Now, this table looks like Junkyard, which was a game that I played a lot of, a pinball table, a real pinball table. It had a wrecking ball like that, kind of at the top plate. I don't think it was a separated play field though. I think it was actually, let's see, so change the view to view 4, that's the one I want. So, let's go.
Skill shot.
So, it has this thing. Looks like I locked the ball right there for a multi-ball immediately. Can that really be the case, or do I have to spin this thing more and more to get it to move that forward? So notice there is a lot of stuff here, and I think there may have been a way to shoot that in different directions from the periscope. And look how the ball almost stopped on that spinner. That can happen. Like, what shoots those? What button shoots? That's an important thing to realize. So pass your super score? Well, about to, because this is a new game. So obviously. Come on. What button is that? So there's not a ton on this lower play field, but there's a really big play field back here. And when the wrecking ball is down, which it actually isn't right now, you can use the ball to hit it, to hit targets. Oh, it's the A buttons for some reason? Whoa, I wouldn't have expected that. So now that can hit targets that are higher than the other drop-down targets. And there's a area over there that looks like only the periscope could hit. Getting back up to this upper playfield, though, is quite difficult. Overall, I'd say it's a pretty interesting design for... What was the name of this one? Undersea Lab, I believe was the name of it. And there, I think the ball was locked firmly. So now I have to get ball number 2 into that submarine and then move the submarine all the way forward. And a spinner can be very helpful to get a real high score. But there's blue drop-down targets at that top area that you're trying to hit. There's one more that I'm trying to hit.
Emergency servicing initiated.
The little spinner funnel in the lower right-hand corner is an interesting addition. It's not something you usually see in pinball games because it would be covering a lot of a very important area of the playfield. See, that area gets you more and more score over there in the top left behind that ramp. Of course, that hanging mine or ball, whatever it is, has a tendency to cause the ball to bounce just right back down. And the spinner certainly doesn't help because you'd have to put a lot of force to go through the spinner and make it all the way to the back. In fact, this whole table has kind of a problem of hitting, needing a lot of force to hit anything. There's no short shots here, no medium shots. It's all just long shots in the literal sense of the terms. Like, you have to go nearly 60% of the length of the table before you can hit anything. And so we're still trying to get that last thing, and we did. And when we did, it raised the whole thing. So now I've got this whole another set of drop-down targets to target at. And see, that might be what might have been a great place to nudge, but in nudging you may very well lose too, so it's no guarantee of victory. It'd be nice if you could always nudge and know that the nudge was the right move and it was going to save the day, but it doesn't seem like it is. So it doesn't seem like these drop-down targets are staying dropped down, so this might just be adding score to our game. We haven't increased any of the score multipliers, so whatever is required to do that hasn't happened. We have started a squid attack though, and that lowered that back area while we weren't looking down to its lowest level. What's called tide. Just trying not to lose the ball. And the submarine stopped moving. So we can't lock towards a multi-ball. So I desperately wanted to get to that top playfield, and there isn't a ton of options here to get up there. I suppose if I hit this thing enough, hull breach. I just caused a hull breach. I assume that is a bad thing and not a good thing. Trojan.
Charge.
The Magna Save, interesting. So Magna Saves we haven't talked about. There are little magnets right above the lane on the far left and the far right that you would lose a ball there. And if you have Magna Save enabled, you can, sometimes you have to trigger it, sometimes it will just trigger by itself and lock the ball and drop it back in the lane that returns the ball to your paddle instead of down into the bad place where the ball is lost. What would you call that? It's a good question. I do not know what the official term is for. I would call it the gutter. Yeah, why not call it a gutter like bowling? That's probably the right term. So it seems somewhat easy to start the process of multi-ball in this one. It's just a little intensive to get multi-ball. You have to go through this ramp a lot, which, you know, if you just sat here and got that shot every single time, which an expert pinball player would be able to do, that would get you multi-ball, and in multi-ball mode you'll certainly find ways to get a lot more score. So there's a Magna Save right there, or the same idea at least.
Emergency surfacing initiated.
The fact that pinballs are made out of steel makes them really nicely susceptible to magnets. Allows you to do some tricky things. No, don't lose. Ball saved. There we go. The sunken ship raises, and then the ball is lost. Now I have to hit the blue drop downs with the magnifier, with the, not magnifier, the ball hanging there. In Junkyard, it's very similar. It's just the playfield's bigger and the ball's on a longer train. In Junkyard, there's several other things you can do, but the main feature is trying to hit that ball on the chain to smash cars, I believe is what you're doing with it. Maybe smash piles of junk or something else.
Well done.
There we go. First ball locked.
All locked. Periscope up.
Let's go up. Another one.
Video mode.
Video mode. So, what am I doing? You move left and right to move through. That was easy.
Periscope up. Magna-Save
That was a
charge.
real easy video mode. And it's kind of a shame that it doesn't come to the full middle of the screen, but I guess fine. That wouldn't really happen in the real world anyways. So I started a quick multi-ball.
Periscope up.
I'm not sure what I did. It's kind of hard to figure out what activates everything in each of these tables. The learning experience in pinball is really just trial by error.
Nice combo.
That's why it's good for people who don't pay attention to too much, because you can just beat the balls around forever and still have a fun time with it, even if you're not playing with any real strategy or skill. It also makes pinball really good for little kids because all they have to do is hit those 2 buttons, and you just keep on letting them do that. Particularly if you're not paying for the game, you can, if you own the pinball table, something set it to free play and just have them play for as long as they want until they get bored of it. That is one thing, if you do own an arcade machine or a pinball machine, in most states, in the United States at least, you actually have to have a license to charge any money for them. But you can certainly own the systems that they just might disable you the ability for you to charge money, or they typically what they'll do is they'll put the lock on the front of it backwards so that the front always opens up, so if anybody put any money in it, they could just reach in and take the money out. And then you could, while nobody's looking, illegally put the lock in the right place if you wanted to. But if you put it in any public place, you'll probably get caught eventually and fined heavily for what would probably only be like a $50 license anyways, if that was your intention. It's silly that you need a license for such a thing, but there was all this hubbub about arcade games in the old days about them being gambling and corrupting the youth. Long before things like Grand Theft Auto were blamed for corrupting the youth, all arcade, all pinball was blamed for such things. It's always the new thing that the last generation didn't understand too well.
Nice combo. Periscope up.
Again, we're having music play. It's really strange now that I've thought of that there is music playing in the middle of a pinball game. That just doesn't kind of happen. You'll get little tidbits, certainly, of sounds, or maybe a snippet of music, but for the music just to keep on playing forever, it just doesn't work that way. A little bit more, and I think I may have a multi-ball here. Getting really good at hitting that ramp on the left. Ball 2 is locked. So now I need to just get ball 3 into the sub. Almost lost it there. Ball 3 in the sub. Now I just need to hit that ramp a few more times. Well, it's rather more than a few more times. So if I hit that ramp really, really hard, if I could get a lot more power up there, I might be able to get it to move a little bit faster, but I'm not really sure. I think the way that's designed, you're gonna get 2 or 3 spins and that's it. And I have just did a quick multi-ball, and don't know what triggered it, but okay. Getting some jackpots there, I think. It's nice to get some jackpots when you're actually playing multi-ball. It's nice to get jackpots at any point, I suppose. My score is going up. This may be the game of the year or the game of the day for me. Just keep these things going. As long as the balls are both in play, we're fine. Now that one is gone though. And see, the disappointment that can often happen there is you'll have a great run there of a multi-ball collecting jackpot and jackpots, and it's just going to end with a real quick hit. Video, nope, crash. That video mode was a little bit more difficult than the previous one. Typically when they end up putting magnets in the middle of the central play field, that's a good indicator that they didn't have anything interesting to really put there. It puts a stop to the game, and that's one of the things you don't want. Is you want the gameplay to move and flow, not stop because of a magnet or something else. Here we go. Are we there yet? Nope, we need one more spin. Come on. Getting that right angle. I started another mode, I believe. That probably means even if I got in the funnel up right here, which I assume that's what it is, it's supposed to represent just a funnel. I bet it wouldn't move the multi-ball forward. We're so close to a multi-ball. Spinners don't give you a lot of score, but they're nice. See, funnel didn't help. So we're getting attacked by the squid, and I just don't know what I'm even supposed to hit. We sprung a leak. Hole breach. It is a little strange that a magnet would get you. It's like a target, but not a drop-down target. It's just a have the ball in that area target. While it's not moving very fast, because if it moves too fast, the magnet won't catch it. And see, there's a couple different ways that they could be using magnets, electromagnets in particular, to test whether it's made a connection or not. One could be done by inductance, and the same way stoplights know if there's a car. Inductance might be the wrong term. There's this process in which they run a wire under the street in front of stoplights, red lights, and they know when there's a big metal object in front of it because it changes the magnetic field that they're running through that wire. And that might be it, but you could just also like have the ball be slightly magnetic and then put a magnet detector on it, a magnet sensor. Either way would work. It's just kind of, I'm not sure exactly how it works in pinballs. I kind of wish I did. There's a lot of interesting mechanical, physical properties that are invented. Still am in the wrong mode for that multi-ball. hit it right. Get in the correct ramp. Save charged again. I am not having luck here. Almost had it. Am I even trying? Or am I just keeping the ball in play? Alright. It's up another level. There we go, finally. Apparently I have to hit it one more time though. Earn gold coins every time I do that. That's nice. Finally, multi-ball is ready. Is it not ready, or did I? Sea monster again. You go up that sea monster ramp enough and you'll get the sea monster. And I just want to keep in this upper playfield then, I think. What am I doing? Do I have to hit everything that's lit? If that's true, then there's only 2 more ramps I need to hit. It seems like that's the case. Alright, so 1 more ramp and I may have this. Nope. See, that feels like I've hit everything. So why didn't I succeed when I hit all the things that were flashing and lit up? Also, why didn't I get that triple multiple going? So that was a good game. That's another 7 million added to our other tables to give us a super score of 44 times 4 now. So we have a wizard score of 176, and it's just going to grow and grow. That wizard score, as long as we play each table at least once and get a decent amount of score. Of course, what is a good wizard score? Is 100 a good wizard score? Is 1,000,000? Is 10 billion? We'd have to look at the leaderboards and kind of make that determination ourselves. Man. Keeping the ball in that upper playfield is hard. In Junkyard, to get into the upper playfield, all you had to do is shoot it straight up the middle, and it was very easy. I think maybe the flippers were a little bit wider apart on the second playfield than they normally are, and that made it a little bit easier to lose the ball and send it back down, but overall it was easier than this. And I remember playing Junkyard when it was broken for a couple hours, just like, oh well, it's still playable, but the thing has some broken pieces to it, and that was kind of less than ideal situation, but still kind of fun. A lot of pinball games, if they're broken, they're broken real bad. Can't do anything, or you wouldn't want to do anything, because it's just going to be a frustration. But sadly, all of my arcade life has been centered around being desperate to play pinball, because there's so rarely an occasion in which I was able to. and now even fewer occasions in which I'm able to. Almost to the point now where I kind of just have to resolve myself to only playing on PC because there's no options in the real world to play anywhere near me. There was an arcade that was near me, and then I came back after having not visiting the arcade in a couple of years, and the entire arcade was out of business and gone. So now there's nowhere close. That's a shame, but that's what happens. And that was a really big arcade too. It wasn't a tiny thing you may have seen with like 50, 60 arcade games and that's it. This thing had probably 100, maybe 130 games sitting around. 20, I would say, pinball machines that run. When usually you're lucky if you have anywhere between 1 or 5 in an arcade that's small. It's a shame for the younger generations. Oh, here's something. That was new. It's a shame for the younger generations. They're not going to play on arcade machines at all. They're just going to play on consoles and miss out on some of that fun. Oh well. It's not a huge loss, but it is some nostalgia they just won't have.
Emergency servicing initiated.
Oh,
Die! Die!
am I gonna get a multi-ball on this in this hour? I'm not sure. Narrow trench. So right flipper is down, left flipper is up. Nope, went the wrong way. As I was saying the instructions correctly, I hit the buttons incorrectly.
Hurry up! Right shot. Periscope up. Periscope up.
A lot of periscope. The periscope idea is cool, but it needs to really be triggered by one of the left or right flippers, not the A button, because that's not how things would work in most pinball games. Now, sometimes the pinball games did have some buttons right on top of the left and right flipper button, but that's kind of a rare case, and it's not what you want to do. You don't want to take your fingers off the flipper buttons for too long or any amount of time. Really. As soon as you take your hands off the controls, you're giving away some control. And expert play of pinball, like I've said before, is 100% about trying to maintain control. Collecting samples, I don't think we've done that one.
Target spotted.
So this moves back with the flipper, it doesn't. Yep. I should have figured that out.
Periscope up.
And I'm not targeting that quite the way I would like. So I'm not sure how the escape up there works. Where it's flashing escape? I don't know what you'd have to do to get to that. Try again.
Sonar activated.
I bet you'd have to bump it to get over there. That's an interesting bump. Maybe we could try that.
Knock. Combo.
So if we bump right there, it didn't work.
Watch
If we
out.
bump right there, it didn't work.
Right shot.
I'm not trying to tilt the game or anything. No,
All sight.
ball saves, good.
Just a bit better.
Got it. What is that horse sound? Is that a seahorse? Is that a joke that they're making? Maybe. Maybe it's just making a funky sound. It's hard to tell.
Emergency surfacing
It's
initiated.
taking all my focus just to, you know, not lose.
Dive. Dive.
Doesn't feel like there's much of a
Magnuson.
skill shot going on here. As far as I can tell, it doesn't seem like any skill shot. So now it's flashing escape. So what does it mean when it's flashing escape? No, I don't think bumping it's
Locking
enough.
frequency station. All locked. Right shot.
And I can try and bump it all I want. It's just not happening.
Right shot.
Maybe if I hold the right trigger when that is up there, it will decide to go that way.
Right shot.
Figured I'd go up that lane.
Beware. Sea monster.
Nope. Complete all the lit shots, it says. So I see 2 more lanes. 1 more lane. Gotta get it just right to get down into. Nope, I need to get a little bit further. Nowhere close there. Nowhere close there.
Running.
And that didn't work. And see if I roll right fast over it, or if I'm not right over it, it won't work. Let's see. Cruising.
Dive, dive.
Here we go. Gotta hit it right on the edge to hit that, and I made it, surprisingly. Just hit everything that's flashing.
All sight. Right shot.
Come on, multi-ball. Escape route activated, it says.
A leap into the deep blue. Periscope up.
I don't know what I did wrong there.
You're wearing me out. Right shot.
This one.
Running.
Come on. Go. Missed. There we go. Now I'm in a different mode though, so it doesn't work. Oh man. I'm trying to hit these water leaks.
Hurry up.
And sometimes the drop down targets in the back don't seem like they matter. Like in some of these modes it's just straight up like it doesn't matter what you were doing before, that it's over. That's over for now, and now you're gonna do this new thing. Alright, keep the balls in play, try to get some jackpots. That's all there is to it. Jackpot, jackpot. Lost the ball. We're about to lose the ball again. They just... Oh no! Ugh. Sometimes it just goes that way. Sometimes you can't help but lose. There's some real zen-ness, zen mentality, at least in some small part, in playing pinball, because you're just living in the moment, usually. Even if you have a plan, even if you know where to shoot and know it's all the rules and missions to a specific game, you're still mostly living in the moment of where the ball is now and what you can do to move it where you want it to go. Or maybe what you can do to just keep it from falling in the gutter. And I just want to hit the edge of that, and I missed. I still have yet to use that escape path once. Just hit the edge, missed again. Oh well. Got it anyways. start the squid attack sequence again if we're not careful. Not a problem. Apparently we started a hole breach. So I guess I'm trying to plug the hole breaches. It's thematically appropriate.
Dive! Dive! Periscope up!
Notice that there's just a lot of toys in the background there. A lot of set design at the very back of the pinball table that have really nothing to do with anything. It's just there kind of as a visual distraction and to set the theme. You have this entire submarine looking device that is unnecessary. Similar in the way of the octopus, but at least the octopus kind of ties into it. See, that's a weird thing about pinball. If you strip out all the theming and all the art, you would have a very dull looking, very simplistic looking just group of ramps and targets and lights that lit up. But it's in the art, it's in the theming that you start to get the personality of a table.
Dive! Dive! Sonar!
Maybe there is a way I could lock the ball, the multi-ball, via a skill shot.
Periscope up!
I hadn't thought of that, but it might be the case. Just keep that ball in play.
Periscope up!
See, it gets there by a trap door in that path, and a trap door like that on the right, there, right below that orange connector tube. A trap door like that would actually be a very bad decision in the pinball thing because it would get stuck. The ball would get stuck there, the trap door would get stuck half open. That trap doors in general don't work great in pinball games. There's a famous one called Theater of Magic that had a trapdoor, and yep. I certainly remember seeing at least one or two broken Theater of Magic things for trapdoors and other reasons. You'll get to actually see all of these real pinballs. Tables once I play Pinball Arcade, because I'm slowly collecting all of the DLC Season 1, Season 2 of those, and those are real pinballs made into digital versions, and it will be quite revealing to see how much of these newly created ones are borrowing from some of the classics that have existed. So we got ball 1 locked. Now we're looking for ball 2. We got about 10 more minutes to try for that multi-ball. I'm not sure I'm gonna get it, but that's alright. Now, unlike Biolab, this one that feels much more realistic, it's still just kind of missing something. A lot of emptiness in the front field. It doesn't feel thought out. When real video or pinball games are made, they play them for hundreds of hours, and they get the feel, and experts play them, people who have played other pinball games for millions of hours, and they can say things like, it feels like there's something missing here. It feels like something should be in this path when I hit this way. What would be easy to overlook here is there really is 0 square inches in a pinball table, even these that are custom made, where if you shoot a pinball in that direction, it will just hit the wall of the pinball and bounce back. It just doesn't occur. Every angle that you can possibly hit either hits a drop-down target or hits a ramp or goes somewhere else and does something else. There are some connecting edges with just rubber bumpers that would, if you hit them, just bounce back, but those are there by necessity, not by desire. Now, sometimes behind drop-down targets, it is true that you just would hit the wall, go back in this. In this one in particular, I've got those blue drop-down targets at the top playfield that are down, and then I'm just hitting the wall there. That's bad design, actually. There should be a secondary score behind there that just gives you a small amount of something, or it should have a path there that would open up to another area. Let's see. Let's pull this back like this far and see if that does anything. Nope, not really. Seems like there's just 0 skill shots. You can definitely feel that they're experimenting here. It's really difficult to get a score multiplier on this. There's no skill shot. There's still no matching a number to get a free game, which is something that is almost universally done in pinball games. Even if it means nothing, it should still be done, or it should be an option to turn on by default. I would say that's an opt-out type thing. Maybe some players wouldn't care about matching a number, but anybody with any familiarity with actually playing pinballs loves the potential to win a free game. And that's why in Pinball Arcade you can win free games all the time, because they're replicating real pinball tables, even though it doesn't really mean anything. Now, in the Williams collection for, I believe, either the Wii or the Xbox 360, I don't remember which one it was, they actually had a quarter system. It was a really bad idea, so you could potentially run out of quarters and not be able to play the game you bought. And it wasn't I don't think it was something as simple as you could go get a loan for another like $20 in quarters. I think you really couldn't do anything. Well, there was something else to it. It was a bad system, definitely. Fortunately, it never got done again. The Williams collection, I believe, was made by the same people as the Pinball Arcade people, but they never quite got the license for all the games that were in it. Or maybe now they have done that. Pinball Arcade kickstarts the licensing of specific tables because it is expensive to license some of the most popular tables ever. And so they're saying, they go directly to the people and say, if you want this, then you have to fund Kickstarting so we can go get the license for it. Which seems moderately fair. I'm not a huge fan of Kickstarter, but in that one rare case, you know what you're in for, at least, or you probably know what you're in for. So I'm trying to do this, and it still doesn't work. don't think I'm gonna get the multi-ball. And see that drop-down target to the left of the spinner, it gets hit way too much. The periscope and the drop-down target both get hit a lot.
I was a real fun.
A quick multi-ball. I suppose I'll take this for whatever it's worth. Not getting any jackpots. I was hoping for some jackpots. There we go. Seems like hitting the ramps might be the jackpots here. And I lost both balls. And that's always a pain. That's always bad.
Dive, dive.
So you're always in this weird position because you never know if you've really seen all of the pinball table, even after playing an hour. I probably haven't seen all of any of the pinball tables I played for an hour so far. Probably won't see all of the pinball tables. There may be missions and multiplayers and multi-balls and all kinds of things that I've missed. But that kind of is the breaks with pinball too, isn't it? Most players aren't going to see the whole thing. Which, if you compare it to other video games, is actually terrible game design. That there may be major sections of your game that you worked hard on creating aren't even seen by a good... But I don't know how you really make a story mode pinball game without just going, you didn't make that shot, let's rewind time and let you try that shot again. Now they did come out with a pinball game, I still don't remember the name of it though, that was kind of story designed, but it was kind of a pinball, maybe half breakout game, and it was weird. So another ball. Periscope up. Come on. Just need to hit that ramp a few times. And hitting that periscope a lot. Do this. Just have to hit this a couple more times. Started the quick multi-ball again. So now while I'm in this mode, nothing's gonna help me. Hit the ramps, get as many jackpots as possible. See if we can beat our high score. Which I don't think we're anywhere close to yet. There we go. Starting to beat our high score. Hey, it continued. don't know why it continued, but nice. Keep it going. Nice combos. See, it seems like when you get a jackpot, you get the ability to save the ball for a little bit longer.
5 million.
5 million. And that was a different sound. And up there we go. Come on. Let's get the triple ball jackpot. Missed it. Darn it. I'm so desperately trying to hit that ramp on the right.
Periscope up.
Periscope up. Coin for like 10 million. Our score is just getting higher and higher.
Beware. Sea monster.
But notice we're not getting any like achievements or anything here. So that's another thing to be aware of, is that even if we are doing good with the score, we're not really accomplishing what they would want me to accomplish, or the game creators. Well, 19 million is certainly nothing to sneeze over, if that's the phrase, which I don't believe it is. So we got 19 million added to our other 37 million, playing 4 other tables. That puts us at a super score of 56. 56 times 4 puts us at 224. So now, as we come back, if we look at the local high scores, I have 19 million certainly, but there's some other scores that are needed to move it down. If you want the top 10, you do have to effectively push down everybody else. So that means 5 million here needs to be all. You need 10 scores of more than 5 million in this game. And let's see, what's our super score look like in comparison to other people? Nothing. Our super score is incredibly small. Our pinball wizard is incredibly small. So we still have a lot of work to do there. So starting next recording, we're gonna do a Marvel, and then we'll do a Star Wars, and then we'll do a Family Guy, and then we will do Marvel, Star Wars, and then Family Guy, and we'll just keep cycling through that until we do the 4 Family Guys, and then we'll do the South Parks, and because that's probably a good comparison of those two, and then we'll cycle through that, and then we'll start doing Alien vs. Predator, and then finally we'll get around to doing these other ones that are more singular, because there's still quite a few original creations here. Maybe we should throw an original creation in there too, like Marvel, Star Wars, Family Guy original creation. That seems like a good plan. Still thinking these things through, but I do know we're done with this recording, so as always I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All that helps out. If you want to support me further, you can click on my name Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.